Hello and thanks for joining me today. This is Danny, and I am just getting ready to build a greenhouse for Botania. I just started framing things out over here just to kind of get, sort of a thinking out loud sort of thing. Laying down some blocks and seeing how I like it, and coming up with some concepts for a greenhouse. And what I'm thinking about is something kind of similar to what I did at my vacation house for the sunroom, where we had the marble. Actually, we used quartz. I'm going to use marble here because we use marble in the house. Actually, there was dirt there. I just dug it out. So I'm using marble as kind of a frame, and then we're going to have microblock glass all around it, and then it's going to have a pitched roof, and it's going to be very long. So the purpose of this greenhouse is to do some Botania stuff. Of course, we don't need a greenhouse. I mean, it's just really for fun and just kind of a pretty place to do our Botania stuff. So what I'm kind of thinking about right now is having a double door here. It'll be a carpenter's block glass door with probably a marble, just like a marble frame, and then I'm thinking that I'm gonna have a path kind of going around the entire perimeter, and then one going down the center, and then this part is actually going to be elevated. So, and I'm kind of gonna see how this looks first, but I'm thinking something like that part's going to be elevated, and then we're going to have all kinds of flowers and other stuff up there, and maybe have this kind of framed in somehow. I haven't really figured out, because I don't really want to see that dirt like that, so I'm thinking that maybe we'll put some marble covers there. Let's try this out. We'll just do 8. That'll give us a stack. So maybe something kind of like that. I don't think this is the right block, so I'm gonna have to play around a little bit, but you know what, actually that might work. This is chiseled down here. This is chiseled marble block. It's not, as opposed to raw marble, it's marble block. So it looks a little bit different than the raw marble. Actually, right here it looks almost exactly the same. You know what, I think the only real difference is that it's got kind of this border, but now we've just covered up the border. So I'm going to do a little bit of experimenting with this, and I'll kind of show you what I end up coming up with. But the idea is that we're going to have an area where there's going to be a whole bunch of Botania flowers, and we're going to kind of grow them in here. We're going to set up some kind of automation where the mystical flowers are growing, and then whenever we need them, we'll just plant them, and then they'll grow up. They'll grow again. And let's see, we've got a bunch of them already, but I have no room in my inventory for them. So let's just grab a few of these and kind of plant them so you can get a sense of what I'm talking about here. So we'll just have a bunch of these kind of covering this area. I kind of like that, but I don't think I like the marble. I think I might actually do something completely different. So, like in a normal greenhouse, you might have like a table, and you might have like a wood frame around it. Definitely wouldn't have like a marble like that. It would definitely be something a little different than marble. But some of this area will be filled up with the mystical flowers, and then we'll probably have an area that has some functional flowers and some flowers generating mana. Oh, I have to fill that in. So we'll have a lot of different colors and flowers and stuff in here, and some of it will just be kind of pretty for show, and then there's going to be some that are going to actually be performing some kind of functionality. And then back here, I'm thinking, we're going to have a large area that's our kind of our workshop area, our botanist. What do you call it? Someone who does Botania stuff. Botanist. Our botany area. Well, I'm experimenting with two different styles here. I'm leaning toward this one. Although I'd really like to be able to do this, but I just don't like the way that dirt looks through there. But I like the way this... I like the way the frame looks better than having it solid like that. But I just don't like the way the dirt looks through it. So you might already know that you can use the chisel to change blocks by right-clicking on the chisel, putting the blocks in the interface, and then grabbing whichever one you want. You can also left-click in the world to have it cycle through. Kind of like that. I kind of made a mistake though in having this be an even number, because it would be really nice to be able to put the petal apothecary right in the middle there. That would be pretty neat. But maybe we'll do two, actually. That might not be such a bad idea. Alright, now I'm going to start. I think I've got the floor plan pretty much the way I want it. We're probably going to have a petal apothecary here, and if you don't know what I'm talking about with all this Botania stuff, one of the reasons I'm building this building is because I plan on doing a Botania tutorial in the next episode. But come to think of it, I might just go too tall on the edges. Yeah, let's try that. I'm going to do one row like this and see how it looks. So I'm experimenting with a couple different glass types, colors and such. I really like how this looks, but not for the greenhouse. But I might have to think of a way to come up with a build that uses that green glass, because I really like that. It's just dyed green with the regular cactus green and chiseled to glass panel, and then of course microblocked into to a cover. This is what I had the other one. It's just a clear glass and it's very clear. Then I have these three white dyed, just dyed with bone meal. This one was borderless. This is vanilla. Of course it's not vanilla because it's made into a microblock, but it's the vanilla pattern. And then this is the panel pattern. Okay, I'm kind of this one I like because it doesn't have the frame as much, at least. But I don't like those like reflection marks because I think they just look stupid. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the panel glass. Doesn't look too bad as far as like the size. I think it's a little too close to the house though. And I really, really don't want to move it. But I kind of like how this glass is. I tried putting marble on it to see what that would look like. I mean, just on the edges. But I don't like the way that's looking because we have a bit of a problem in that these marble strips, we're not going to be able to have them run up on an angle like that. So we're not really gonna have a frame going along that top part, so I'm not really sure how I'm gonna handle that quite yet. Maybe we don't need one. When you look at it from this side, it looks kind of incomplete, but when you look at it from this side, it looks all right. And from the inside, you have that stairs look, that step blocky look. But you know, it's Minecraft, so so that's okay. Well, I've run into a little problem here, and it's a problem that I often run into when working with the carpenter wedge slopes, and it's particularly acute in this situation because of the glass, because you can see through it. So what I decided I wanted to do was to have marble kind of framing it, because we should have some kind of a frame other than just glass, or it just didn't look right when it was just glass. So either we end up with this stairs pattern, which looks a little weird next to that. You know, eventually this is all going to be glass, just like this. Or I do carpenter's blocks on both sides, but then I can't fill in this block. So I end up with either a hole, or I can place this over it, and then but it kind of sticks out. So right now I'm kind of leaning toward this. I think that I'm going to go with just having it have kind of a step pattern on the inside like that. That's not too terrible. I also tried having a solid block in there, and that just looked really bad. It made it look top heavy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the left side. Overall though, I really like the way it's looking so far. I really like how the contrast of the greatwood planks with the marble. Yeah, I really like that. I wish I would have moved it over a little bit, but I'm not going to move it at this point. But I wasn't planning on making it quite this wide. I was actually going to make it a little more narrow, and then as I was kind of laying out the floor plan, I decided I wanted it wider. I ended up going that way a little further than I had initially planned. Well, it's done. I'm still thinking about finishing touches, but I think it's done. The one thing I really would like to see is some color. There's a lot of white, but overall, I love the shape. I like the way the different colors that are here work. Definitely, this greatwood planks work really well with the marble. I really like how that works, and the green. This particular shade of green grass, because we're in the moor biome, so the grass shade is a little bit different. I added some of these chisel technical blocks as fans, just to add some texture, because it just looked really plain in the front before. And then these are vents, also chisel, and then I microblocked them too, because otherwise they were sticking out really far and it looked stupid. These I just cut in half because you don't want to make fans too thin or they won't look realistic. These I didn't cut in half yet, so that's what they looked like before, and I thought that was a little too thick. And then plus you've got the fans on the side, which doesn't really make sense. So when I cut them in half with my saw, well, I guess we still do have a blade on the side there. And it's cut in half. Oh boy, that's kind of crappy. Well, we just won't look at that. And I've got all my shimmering flowers up here, and then this is going to be our work area. I set up a water barrel, Pam's Harvest Craft. These are pretty cool because it's basically an infinite water source, but it only takes up 1 block, and it actually looks kind of nice. The only problem with it is that it moves your bucket. So I right click on it and my bucket disappears. Where did it go? Right there. But now it's full of water, so we can use it to fill up our petal apothecary, which we'll be talking about next time. So here it is. Here's the greenhouse. I'm gonna have a lot of I'm gonna enjoy working in here. This should be fun. Let's look at the aerial view. Pretty cool. Yeah, I'm definitely happy with how this turned out. It's nearly nighttime. I love the way it looks from over here through that sugar cane. I think I might have to add some over there. I played around with lighting a little bit by adding glowstone to a few of the flowers. Oh, and I turned this into a river. I added some water over there so that it would kind of flow through here. On kind of an unrelated note, but anyway, I added some glowstone to some of the mystical flowers, which turns them into glimmering flowers. And just to play around with lighting a little bit, because we have a magnum torch here, I can kind of play around with lighting safely. And, whoa. Just got attacked by a tree. Anyway, so we've got kind of some light areas and dark areas. So it's kind of dark over there, and you can see, I think, yeah, this one's a glimmering flower, that one's a glimmering flower. Yeah, you basically just pick them up, put them in a crafting table with a couple pieces of glowstone, and they shine. I love the way that looks from the outside, how it kind of glows. Nice. When you turn them into glimmering, you can't get petals out of it anymore, but then it's a nice light source. You don't have to have torches or... Now that is a beautiful Minecraft sunset. Look at that. Look at how the trees, how realistic that looks. It's crazy. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please click the thumbs up button. And if you have any comments, leave them below. I'm happy to hear your feedback or ideas. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.